Okay. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Hot Seats TV. And today, the 9th of May, we have Honorable Steve Mogaka, who is seeking to be the next member of parliament in West Mugirango. He has vied for a couple of times, and Steve Mogaka is a renowned lawyer in Nyamira and in Nairobi. And we hope we shall have a fruitful discussion this evening. You can who is Steve Mogaka? Yes, Mheshimiwa, who is Steve Mogaka?
Yes, a very humble person, born a few decades ago at Nyabite Market, Nyamira town, and went to school, Nyamira Primary School, Gesusu High School, Ruiru High School, Kagumo High School, and Nairobi University twice for BCom Finance, and thereafter law. And I am an advocate of the High Court of Kenya. I have worked severally for about 20 years as a senior bank manager before I started full-fledged legal practice.
Okay, thank you for that brief introduction. You're vying to be an MP of West Mugirango. Which party are you vying in so that people may know Steve Mogaka ko party gani?
Stephen Mogaka is flying the the ruling party ticket, the Jubilee party ticket, whose party leader, of course, is His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and the deputy party leader is my own Jimmy Nuru Angwenyi. I hope I will be very soon a party leader after the West Mugirango people elect me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. You're vying to be an MP of West Mugirango. What
Yes.
is your agenda for the people of West Mugirango?
Oh, the agenda is large. Firstly, the role of a legislator is threefold. The first one is representation through contribution to the national agenda in Parliament. The second one is legislation through initiating and or participating in making laws that impact positively to the citizens of this republic, and most of all, the people of West Mugirango. And then finally, it is oversight to ensure that the government functions that are trusted with the members of the executive and the judiciary are executed according to the law and efficiently and without unnecessary leakages, otherwise better known as corruption. Yeah, so for the people of West Mugirango, I want to confess that those roles have not been performed at all because reading the Hansard, in the National Assembly makes one wonder how 5 years down the road, no agenda for the people of West Mugirango has ever been tabled in Parliament in terms of our education, in terms of our infrastructure, in terms of our agriculture, in terms of our health functionality of the health sector, and in terms of the youth agenda of ensuring that we tap talent and deploy our youth to the various professions where they are built skills which we have invested heavily in. So the agenda for the constituency is large. I think you need to give me a bigger program to deal with that. But permit me to celebrate our teachers who, despite very little support from the constituency, have managed to turn in incredible examination results, particularly at the Form 4 level. I want to celebrate them and congratulate the candidates who turned in incredible results and got admitted and all will be admitted to universities. They can count on me to give them the necessary support in terms of bursaries, education, sponsorship, to ensure that they optimize their opportunities while learning. And I also have an agenda of mobilizing all our working class within the constituency to create a national, rather constituency fund of our own that will complement the national government efforts to support education so that we can fast track our best students, our best brains, our most gifted students to attain the best skills in the world so that they can be globally competitive. So the agenda is large.
Okay, thank you for stating your agenda. And you have not talked about roads. There's somebody who has said West Mugirango is pathetic in terms of roads. What can you comment about that?
Ah, I did mention the agenda of infrastructure, and permit me to mourn on behalf of the people of West Mugirango that whereas the constituency was privileged to have a sitting in the Committee of Parliament in charge of infrastructure in the 5 years ending June or August this year, our constituency has 0 centimeters of tarmac road, no graveling or marraming of roads. The constituency, in terms of road infrastructure, is actually a disaster. And remember, we are the constituency that houses the county government of Nyamira. We are the constituency that therefore has a lot of traffic. And then, tragically, then we are the constituency that has nil roads. I want to congratulate other members of parliament from the region, like Honorable Jimmy Nuru Angwenye, for securing no less than 80 kilometers of tarmac road. I want to congratulate the MP for neighboring North Mugirango for attempting to secure certain roads. But for West Mugirango, it is really a sad story. It is a tragic story. And I hate to speak on it on television because it is actually a disaster. It is a zero tarmac road when every constituency was allocated an average of 45 kilometers of tarmac and several kilometers of maraming or grading of roads. I pity our border riders. I pity our tea farmers. I pity the students who have to walk because transport cannot risk going through some roads. And indeed, if there is one thing we must rectify when I become MP from September this year, I will ensure that we recover those roads which ought to have been tarmacked or marramed in West Mogrango, because West Mogrango is also a part of Kenya and is entitled to a proportionate share of infrastructure development.
Okay. Honorable Kemosi, between the last election, little was known about him. The last election and previous elections. Honorable Steve Wakili, you have vied for several times. People of West Mogrango not giving you a chance.
I'm not sure I got you right, but if you are talking about the last election, and I'm sure you are numerate, and many of our viewers are numerate. We have 5 wards in the constituency of West Mogrango, and I won in 3 out of 5 wards. But the one who was declared a winner sadly won or was declared to have won in 1 out of 5 wards in the constituency. You don't need to be a genius to know that the so-called margin of 1,000 or so votes that I was allegedly beaten with is just a sham. It's a sham, it's not realistic. Be it as it may, yeah, performance has demonstrated that whoever was declared the winner was not the person the people of West Mogrango intended to vote for. This time round, the West Mogrango people will confirm that the person they intended to vote for and that they voted for was Stephen Mogaka and not the name that you have just mentioned.
Okay. Honorable Stephen Mogaka, you have stated your agenda, but also want to go back to the party politics. You are in 2017, you vied with Wiper. Recently, we've seen your posters in ODM. Now you say you are going to vie in Jubilee. What has been happening by you moving from one party to another? Because there's a viewer who is asking, you have served a lot of parties. What is this that you're not contented with other parties that you cannot stick to one party?
Thank you. For the last 10 years, I have been in Wiper Democratic Party movement until recently when, at the request of the party leader, I joined the Jubilee, the ruling party Jubilee. And that was following a very serious survey that showed that consistently I was the preferred candidate for parliamentary from West Mogrango. So, contrary to what you have just intimated, I have not been a party hopper. I have been consistently in Wiper until when the Wiper Democratic Movement was slow in signing up for Azimio, which is the coalition that Jubilee Party belonged to. It is the reason that I moved at the request of the ruling party. I joined Jubilee Party and was awarded the ticket to vie for West Mogrango constituency unopposed. And I believe in the ruling party, and I know that those who were a liability in the ruling party and that was making it not perform had found their places to be. And the new and revamped Jubilee Party, which is in fact a senior partner in Azimio, is the party that I am running with. And for the simple reason that for you to conduct business in Parliament, you must have the requisite numbers in the House. And looking at my projections, I consider that Jubilee Party will command quite a number of slots in Parliament, and it is that party that I wish to team with to prosecute the agenda of the people of West Mugirango, because numbers count.
Okay, thank you for that. And of recent, the Azimio Party has intimated that it will be doing zoning in Busi region, that is Eastern Nyamira counties. What if Jubilee is not zoned for Nyamira? Or can you enlighten our viewers about the zoning of both counties? Will it affect the people in other parties if a certain party will be told to field candidates and others drop?
Um, uh, Coalition formation now provided for by law, unlike before in Kenya. And it obviously has teething problems. And whatever it takes, the two leading coalitions that are running for to form government next year are looking for ways and means of generating numbers in the respective legislative houses. And it is an issue that if you are coalition partners and then each of you is fielding a candidate, chances are that the coalition partners will certain seats to the competitors. So zoning is one of such tools that is required to ensure that coalition partners don't burn out each other. In the event that any person feels that they will not be able to fit within the coalition requirement that they will zone certain regions to present a single candidate, obviously there is an opening as an independent candidate. And there is going to be an avalanche of independent candidates going to be elected to all houses, all legislative houses in this republic. So on zoning, that is a National Executive Council decision. And even when it is implemented in whatever area, I believe it is for the good of the coalition, and those affected obviously will have the liberty to agree with the coalition and bow out, or opt to run as independent candidates.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think West Mugirango is gonna be zoned, and should it be zoned, yeah.
Okay, thank you. You have said West Mugirango, you don't think it will be zoned. And if it is zoned, what happens to you, Akili?
If it is zoned, obviously it will be to ring fence yours faithfully, Stephen Mogaka, to be the sole Azimio candidate for that region.
Okay, thank you for that. And we hope it will not affect even other candidates. Nyamira County is perceived to be Kenya Kwanza territory or stronghold. What is your take about it? In 2017, Jubilee won that county. And this year, the opinion polls say that Nyamira County, the UDA fraternity will take a lot of nearly more than half of the seats out of the four constituencies. What is your take about this?
Mm, I do not agree with that. An indigene of Nyamira County is that Nyamira County is an extremely democratic region. Number two is that while we are not in entire agreement on the top seat or the presidential seat, because none of the presidential candidates originates from Nyamira. The rest of the seats which touch on the people of Nyamira, our electorate are extremely clever and they will vote for a candidate not because they are in whatever affiliation or party. They will vote every candidate on their own merit. And therefore, the sweeping statement that Nyamira is Azimio, Nyamira is Kenya Kwanza is fairly misleading. But I can bet that Nyamira County has been voting for Jubilee because of His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta, and the bulk of it has been voting for the Right Honorable Raila Odinga. We have never had is the deputy president on the ballot at whatever time in the past, and therefore we do not know what votes he commands in Nyamira. It is this time that he's gonna be tested to know whether or not he has a following in Nyamira. But for sure, a combination of Jubilee Party and the ODM is likely to command a bigger presidential vote than the other. But in terms of the other five electoral seats, every candidate is going to attract votes according to their perceived performance and acceptance by the electorate. Just like I was going to be elected, irrespective or regardless of what party I was going to run for. It is only wisdom that made me join up Jubilee to team up with the other Jubilee and Azmio parliamentarians to prosecute a profitable agenda for the region God made us to hail from.
And what have you done to the people of West Mugirango? Because somebody said you have been norming for long, so you have vied for a long time. What have you done for the people of West Mugirango that you think this election for 2022 you deserve a chance?
No, I've not vied for a long time. I have perhaps vied at the wrong times. And this time, being God's time, happens to be the right time. But while I have been practicing on getting elected like I will be, I have initiated so many development projects. You know that I've been running a poultry project where I have been supplying chicken to various groups in the constituency. And I thank those poultry farmers because some of them are donating eggs for my meals this time round when I'm doing campaigns. You know that I've been running an education sponsorship program for our students who are coming from needy backgrounds. And as I speak, while the constituency is starved of bursaries, you will be surprised how much money I have, personal money I have spent and will spend in a few days to come to support students who have joined secondary school, students who have joined, who are going to join university. You know that I am the pioneer initiator of the civic radio civic education program, where we have been educating our electorate and audience on their civic rights and their duty to get involved in public participation. That show, and I thank you for inviting me to yours for the first time. That show is what makes our electorates very responsible when they are going to cast their votes. You will know that I have been at the forefront and supported construction of churches. If I compute the amount of money that I have expended in social support, it is incredible. You know that I'm the only person who has been building houses for some very needy, deprived cases, and those houses are there. Those families are there to speak for themselves. You know that as a lawyer, I have conducted a lot of pro bono or free of charge legal support services for the vulnerable members of society, including those who are being harassed and terrorized by their former employer or neighbor tea plantation that is adjacent to our constituency. And it is not a cheap exercise to travel from Nairobi to go and represent our people in the village who would otherwise be subjected to serious injustices. You know that I have visited so many schools to provide resource people and inspiring speakers that have helped motivate our students to excel in their studies. And the Nyakiore Secondary School is one such living example that I remember very successful young professionals whose speeches and inspirational talks to our students made them break the ceiling like they have done to give us unprecedented results, where a school from nowhere without infrastructure takes all its candidates to university is incredible. I have had a social support program for our widows, for whom we are, through Steve Mogaka Foundation, we have been supporting them in get foodstuffs and clothing. In terms of what I've done to society, I dare say that this show cannot be sufficient to account. But all this is done with my humble earnings as a lawyer, and not with the privilege of using public money, as others have had the privilege to do.
Thank you. That is Kenyawani is asking Wakili Mogaka, what do you have for us, the young people? That is the question on the screen there. What do you have for us, the young people? You have stated a lot, but for the young people, what have you done to them?
Thank you so much. May you let viewers know that I'm a champion of the young persons in this republic, irrespective of where they are. they come from. And you know that I'm a trained and qualified human in a constituency as its own people. It is a tragedy that we have invested so much intellectual capital in our young people, but we have been unable as a country to offer opportunities for them to utilize these skills and be able to contribute to our GDP. It is because of that that in my constituency office, we have already started to create a database of all our youth of every category, so that we are able to do a needs assessment. A youth needs assessment, know what innovations are required for the youth who are in school to complete, for the youth who have completed to get absorbed to industry, into the market, for youth who are deficient in skills, so that they are enrolled in TVET institutions and other institutions that will inculcate skills that will make them employable. We are looking at how to partner with other countries which are having declining populations, so that we become an exporter of skills and labor, so that our youths can get absorbed in foreign countries that so badly needs the kind of skills that we have, but are being left idle. We are looking on how to revamp, expand, and equip our talent identification and exploitation centers, so that we are able to identify the youth with talent and they get art, whether it is comedy. Our youth have potential, and all they are lacking is a leader manager that will identify and match their talent, interest with the market that they belong to. And I will for sure tell you that 5 years of my first term of office, you will be celebrating how many youth have graduated from school to colleges, and from colleges to the job market, either locally or abroad.
Okay, thank you. There's somebody called Josephat Omete. He says that learn to control your ego, have a soft voice when asking for support, to value your supporters. What is your take about this, Wakili? This is one of the persons I think from West Mogrango. What can you say about it?
I missed that. I missed that. I
Uh,
beg your pardon.
okay, so Josephat Omete says that learn to control your ego, have a soft voice when asking for support, value your supporters. That is the comment in our comment section. What is your comment
Thank
about
you.
it?
A very good comment indeed. Only to respond that we are all made in the image of God, and judge not. For yes, you will also be judged. I am just a creature made in the image of God, with the extremely many weaknesses, that one included. Yes, thank you so much
Okay.
for that observation.
Okay, so that Wakili amejibu hayo. Next, we go to another segment that Wakili, you on the governor race, we have different aspirants for that are vying for Nyamira County. And as an aspirant, maybe you have a preferred candidate for the gubernatorial seat for Nyamira County. Who is your preferred candidate?
Yes, my preferred candidate, obviously for the governor Nyamira County, is the candidate for the people of Nyamira that will be voted for and declared along with me on 9th of August this year. I learn and always keep to my lane. I have my vote to cast for a governor candidate. And since the voting in this republic is through sacred ballot, whoever I shall vote for shall obviously be the winning candidate in the gubernatorial seat and all those other 5 seats that I am not contesting.
Okay, so you don't state categorically who your candidate is.
My candidate is the people's candidate.
Thank you. And Azimio has the UPA candidate, that is the Governor Nyaribo. It has the ODM candidate, Timothy Bosire. We have Wiper, Ben Momanyi, and we have other candidates also. And in Jubilee, I don't know, Jubilee has a candidate too. Because there's somebody who is asking for that because he thinks you are preferring the now Governor Nyaribo. Are you, in any case, uh, the, preferring the now Governor Nyaribo? And do you do business with the county government?
The Governor Jaribo is about 2 years old into office after taking over from the late governor, and of course he needs and has always needed support to complete this mini term, and why not as a governor, sitting governor? He has my support as a sitting governor. Yeah, because without that support, how else will he serve our people? As for the election of governor, I've already told you that the governor of the people is the governor we shall vote for. And I therefore reserve my vote to remain a sacred ballot when that time comes. But obviously, I
Thank
have
you.
completely no grudge against the sitting governor. They have tried in this remaining period under extremely hostile environment. And for that, I won't hesitate to do my heart off for them for struggling to make ends meet at this particular time. And I wish them luck. And as I wish every other candidate luck.
Ellen Tomunto asks, what is your plan for the women of West Mugirango? What are you going to do for the women of West Mugirango? She says they have been supporting a bid for quite some time.
Lovely.
What are you going to do for the women of West Mugirango?
Thank you. Thank you so much. That is the best question this evening. This economy is actually in the hands of the women of this country, including those of West Mugirango. And my agenda for the women of Kenya, and including those of West Mugirango, is to afford them opportunity. In the management of public resources, where women have been in charge in the past, we have seen a significant social impact, unlike or compared to that of us, the male gender. So I will be stretching my hands to the women of West Mugirango and the women of Kenya, firstly to ensure that our children get the best education, the best healthcare, and that the public resources are not misapplied and misused and stolen, literally stolen, as has been the case in the past. I will be in the forefront in ensuring that the gender equation in this country, better known as the gender agenda, is prosecuted so that we have parity in placement of women in various positions in this republic, because women are close to 50, if not 51% of the republic. It is therefore going to be my agenda to ensure that women get a commensurate share of opportunities, and therefore ensure that the women play their God-given role in transforming this country, in transforming West Mugirango in particular, and help change the face of humanity in West Mugirango and the world at large. Really. Reboot. The mute has taken away the screen, or I did the wrong thing. Yes, am I off, or is it over, or I'm off? You're back. Okay.
Okay, Wakili. Yes, Wakili. Yes, Wakili. We have
Yes, sir.
thank our people for being with us. I'm seeing a couple of questions which are with us here. So somebody says you were talking about the women. I don't know if you can give one statement, then we have a recap.
No, I did say that the women of Kenya um, uh, have a right to make a contribution to the growth of our GDP, and they are almost the same number of men in this country. And I do remember saying that in my gender agenda, I intend to ensure that we have parity of representation and placement of women in the public sector, particularly where the management of public resources are involved. We have seen that women, in most cases, are better managers of our public resources, and it is because of that that I will make every endeavor to ensure that women have equal access to opportunity, so that they give the best education and healthcare to our children, because a country is only as good as its young generation, because the future of a country depends on the investment and preparation of its youth and children. It is no wonder that the Swahili people say that asiyefunzwa na mamake hufunzwa na ulimwengu. I wouldn't want any of the West Mogrango children kufunzwa na ulimwengu. The reason we will put every opportunity in our women to ensure that they give us the best quality of children that will grow to responsible and competitive adults, and also very competitive professionals globally. Yes, so the women of West Mogrango and the women of Kenya count on me. Hey, wait. Yeah, I'm on live on TV, so.
Okay.
Let me text you.
Okay, Mheshimiwa, there's a question here from a viewer who says your brother lawyer Danston Omari has been a vocal supporter of yourself and the Deputy President William Ruto while you are in Azimio. How do you manage such a political scenario?
Danstan Omar is a professional and a voter in the Republic of Kenya. I thank him for supporting me. I keep asking for his vote, like I ask for from all my siblings. He could be having a presidential preferred candidate, but I will make my best endeavors to convince him to vote Azimio. But as I said, every Kenyan has, and since Danstan Omari is not here and has not said who his presidential candidate is, I think it would be unfair for you to say that he supports this candidate or that. I know Danstan as a very independent commentator on politics in this country, and he has as much good to say about the deputy president as he has to say about the right honorable prime minister. but thank you for recognizing Dunstan Omari's contribution to civic education, and that he supports me. Indeed, he is dying to have me prosecute the legislative agenda in the House to help change Kenya.
Okay, thank you, Wakili. That there are a lot of questions about your sibling brother Dunstan, because he's very vocal and you are not vocal. A lot of people are really on his case because he's very vocal. Very many comments about him, because very many people here say Dunstan Omari is a very good lawyer, and we hope you will manage to enable Wakili Steve Mogaka sent to power this year. Does Dunstan Omari actively campaign for you, sir?
The campaigns have not started. I hope you are not getting evidence against me that I'm campaigning ahead of the campaigns.
Okay.
The campaigns have not started. Those who are doing campaigns are breaching the law. And I'm a lawyer. I know that when the campaigns start, we shall all be campaigning. And, and I suggest you invite him to this TV station as well to promote it. But thank you for those compliments about my
Okay.
partner in the law firm and
Okay.
sibling, Dunstan.
Sawa. So we have Samuel Matuga anasema Wakili Steve Mogaka, all the best. You are the answers to us, the people of West Mogirango. Once the people of West Mogirango have been wasted by Kemosi, we indeed stand with you, Mheshimiwa, the people's choice. What is your comment about the tenure of Honorable Kemosi? What is your brief comment about the tenure for the last 5 years? Yes, sir.
Thank you. I am not good at criticizing sitting MPs. But let me just summarize it that he has tried his best, and nobody can do better than his capacity can allow. And therefore, it would be extremely harsh to say anything more. That what he was able to do, he has done, and the bulk of what he has not done is that he had no capacity at all to do, which makes it necessary that the West Mogrango people need a replacement. Indeed, if you asked me, I would say that West Mogrango voted for Ryle, the biblical Ryle, but they were given Leah. And this time, 2022, they are actually going for the Ryle, who is Stephen Mogaka.
Okay, clanism is a point of reference in West Mogirango politics. Your brief comment about clanism and the West Mogirango politics, sir? Okay, Mheshimiwa Steve Mogaka has left briefly, and we hope we get him. So some of your comments as we were having that interview, we have Ellen Kemunto, and the comment on our screens, it says, "With you, West Mogrango is happy." Thank you very much, Helen Kemunto, for joining us today. We also have another comment from Edgar Ombongi. Edgar, sorry. He says, we wish Wakili Steve Mogaka all the best. He has been the Naomi for long. Kindly West Mogrango people consider him this time. And we also have another comment from Kenya One. And it is, Wakili, what do you have for us, the young people? I think he has answered that questions on recreational facilities and other things that he has said that is he wants to do for the young people of West Mogirango. So we have Maki Lamek, also the comment on the screen. It says, with you, Wakili Steve Mogaka, West Mogirango will be far ahead in matters development. This is your time, sir, and God's time is the best. Thank you for that comment, Maki Lamek. Asante. So there was a question about from our viewer Josephat Omete. Learn to control your ego. Have a soft voice when asking for support. Value your supporters. And Wakili has said we are tumeumba vi different. So venye watu communicate and the way they communicate is God's blessings and God's way of creation. So that has been his response. And also, we have another comment from Derek Omache. All the best, Wakili. We believe in you. We know that as youth of West Mugirango, we are in safe hands. I think these are some of the comments that have been coming all the way. And we have Samuel Matuga. Samuel Matuga says that Wakili Steve Mogaka, all the best. You are the answers to us, the people of West Mugirango. The people of West Mogrango, once we have been wasted by Kemosi, we indeed stand with you, Mheshimiwa. That has been the question. Makilamek also, we are all praying for Steve Mogaka. This and much more. So. We're about to find him back. So we will continue, and we have something there. Yes, Wakili. Okay, Wakili is back. Thank you for the comments that have been coming. Thank you. There are other allegations here that have come across that the people of West Mugirango need to know. You are answering the question on clanism, sir, before we were interrupted. So what about clanism politics in West Mugirango? What is your comment about this?
There's not, I don't want to call it clanism because, yes, there are clans in West Mugirango, and they are a unit or an index of planning. If you were to look at the Constitution, it talks of inclusivity, and it is therefore important that as public resources are distributed, we become as inclusive as possible, and therefore a clan becomes one of the local medium or index of such distribution. The only negative aspect about clanism is where clan members vote for their own, even when that candidate is not meritorious. Be it as it may, We all come from West Mugirango, and West Mugirango comprises of clans, and that diversity is what God saw fit for our constituency, just as He did for the entire humankind. A clan for me is a strength because I have a strong senator from one of the clans. I'm aware that the deputy governor comes from another clan. I'm aware that the immediate former governor, the deceased governor, came from my clan. And therefore, if you were to use a clan as an index of resource distribution, then it is important that we be as inclusive as possible and ask that the West Mugirango people look at our constituency as seamless and know that if we have a lame duck leading us, irrespective of what clan they become, that leader comes from, the entire constituency suffers. And therefore, I thank God for creating the clans that He gave us. And I promise that I will utilize the clan system as a means of resource distribution, inclusivity in the appointment of people to public office, and also as an index of distribution of other public resources, including roads, including healthcare, including bursaries, including the national resources.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think we are about to come to the end of this session. And for our viewers, thank you for the massive following we have had today. And the comments are on our screens at this moment. And we hope everybody is able to see what has been happening in our discussion. So that is Honorable Steve Mogaka. You have vied for several times. Are you sure in this election you are going to win? And what is different in this election that makes you sure that you're winning this seat this time round?
Thank you. Last election, I did not lose. I won, and every election I have ran, I have won. The question is that I wasn't very lucky to be declared the winner. In this country, you can win an election, but somebody else gets declared the winner. But that is history. What is different in this election is that it is the people of West Mugirango who are pushing me to parliament. Unlike before, when I was struggling to get to parliament, it is now the people of West Mugirango who have made a resolve that they need this leadership. And they tell me, hii ni masaa ya Steve Mogaka, and I'm extremely humbled. And I thank the revolution that has emerged in West Mugirango. And I want to assure you, Zach, and the people of Kenya that they will see West Mugirango back on the leadership chart. They will recognize West Mugirango through its robust contribution in the National Assembly. They will celebrate West Mugirango as a model constituency that has an opportunity for all.
Okay, we hope to find Wakili. Wakili, can you hear me? Thank you. I think Wakili is working on his stream as we've come to the end of this discussion this evening. Thank you for the massive followers today. It has been the West Mugirango long-time aspirant Steve Mogaka, who is a renowned lawyer in this country. He is with us here in the Hot Seat TV, and we hope we have had an interactive session. So we hope we will be able to finish this session together. Thank you for the comments that are coming in massive ways. Helen Kemuto, thank you. You say we are happy with Steve Mogaka. You say that Steve Mogaka is the best that West Mogirango needs. We have Ombonge. You say you wish Wakili well. And the people of West Mogirango, this is a clarion call that you should consider the candidature of Steve Mogaka this time round, who is vying under the Jubilee ticket, which is in the Azimio coalition. So we have another person called the Kenya one. He says that Wakili Mogaka, what do you have for us? And we answered that in detail. And we have Maki. Your comments are there, and we hope that we will be able to have another interactive session as we continue. We're coming to the end of this show today. It has been Wakili Steve Mogaka, who is the brother to the famous vocal support of the Deputy President Dunstan Omari. He is a brother, na kuna mtu ameuliza wewe brother yako ana support DP una support Raila. So that has been some of the questions that we have had for Wakili. In our screens, the comments will be coming, and we hope we'll be able to move on. Please, if you have not subscribed, go to subscription button hapo chini, subscribe. It takes less than 5 seconds and do that. Plus also on the notification bell, please click on it. We have videos every morning and evening, and we are building this to be a massive platform for the people in Kisii region and in the whole country. The whole Gusii region, the HOTSEAT TV, this one is for you. And also, if you check on our screen, School Chini, if you wish to be interviewed, you want to be interviewed in one of our stations here, you can dial, call, SMS, and WhatsApp 0713 291 439. Those are the numbers on our screens that we can be able to interact in our sessions so that we can see what happens. Wakili Steve Mogaka will be back shortly so that we come to the end of this session together. Okay, thank you for the comments. Okay, thank you. We are about to finish up. Sante, nimeona comments za somebody called James Somari. You say West Mugirango is safe with Steve Mogaka. Also, in our SMS, the SMS that have been coming here, Nyambega Gisesa. Nyambega Gisesa, your question was well asked about his kid brother Dunstan Omari, and we have also Bivon Magari, who is vying for the Gesima Ward MCA seat. Aliuliza bona wewe wakili Steve ulitoka Wiper ukaenda Jubilee. So these are some of the questions that we have had. It has been an interactive session, and from the hot seat, this is Zach Oanda, your host. We hope to find to have a session tomorrow. Kesho ni saa 1 kamili asubuhi, where we discuss what is in the headlines in the newspaper, and also we'll discuss the state of the nation. A lot has happened today. Kesho tutadiscuss asubuhi sana. That is on somebody like Alfred Mutua leo aliditch Azimio akaenda Kenya Kwanza, and also the Kilifi governor King Amason aliditch Azimio for Kenya Kwanza. The Deputy President William Ruto is gaining momentum as we move forward towards the election. 90 days towards the general election. Maintain peace, and we hope to have that session yet again tomorrow. Asante sana for joining us. This is your host, Zach Oanda. Until tomorrow, thank you very much.